comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? It's DK Wrestler here, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a brand new edition of Cop Up or Pass Up. For those brand new to the channel, Cop Up or Pass Up is a series where I look at a certain set of Funko exclusives and determine whether each of those exclusives via detail, my own personal reaction, and the overall hype from the Funko fanatics on whether they are worth copping up the money for or passing up the opportunity to get. And in today's edition of Cop Up or Pass Up, it is on the recently announced San Diego Comic-Con 2022 exclusive pops. In this video, we are only talking about the Funko Pops due to there being so many exclusives, plus with our video coming up called The Worst to Best SDCC Exclusives, we'll be talking about all of the exclusives during that video. So kicking off the Funko Pops for SDCC, we got ourselves two versions of the SDCC Toucan, one wearing a pirate outfit and one playing a guitar, which both of these will be shared with the Funko shop. I think these are some really cool Toucan Pops. I think they are better than the ones we got previously. Even though these are a part of the ad icons, they're not exactly the ad icons that a lot of people are expecting as terms to Comic-Con exclusives, so that's why I'm saying for right now, pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Or these pops, I should say, because there's two. Next up, we have ourselves Jeremy Jam from Parks and Recreation, which will be shared with Walmart. This is a really cool pop for not only the Parks and Rec lineup, but as a Comic-Con exclusive overall, because this is a character that has never been transformed into Funko Pop form. There's a lot of hype because it is not, let's say, a revamp of an already existing character in pop form. It's a brand new character. So I'm going to say for right now, I think you guys should definitely cop up the money to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves a glow-in-the-dark digital stand from South Park, which will be shared with Entertainment Earth. I think this pop is okay. I feel like for South Park, especially because this year is the 25th anniversary of South Park, that there should have been like a new character or something really cool involving the already existing characters to make it a cool Comic-Con exclusive. This is being shared to Entertainment Earth, which there's one other pop going to Entertainment Earth that I believe will sell out, unlike this pop, which is why I'm going to say pass up the opportunity to get this pop for right now. Next up, we have ourselves Hugsy the Penguin from Friends, which will be shared with Target. This pop is pretty decent. I haven't really watched Friends all that much. I've only watched the first season, but there is a decent amount of hype. The detail's pretty cool, and even though it does meet the criteria to be a cop-up pop, I am going to say pass up the opportunity because I feel like they are going to make an abundance of these pops to the point where there's just going to be a lot on the website and they'll eventually go on sale. Next up, we have ourselves Peacemaker holding a peace sign from the Peacemaker HBO Max series, and this will be shared with the Funko shop. This is a meh Funko Pop. We've definitely seen better Peacemaker as terms of the character himself in pop form, like the one where he's holding Eagly, and especially the WonderCon exclusive where he's holding the shield. So I don't think this is entirely the best Peacemaker pop, especially because this is a lineup where we should be seeing new characters as terms to Comic-Con exclusives. And if it's any indication of people saying that the original Peacemaker for WonderCon was going to be the first one to sell out, and the fact that it didn't, I am going to say pass up the opportunity to get this pop because this will definitely not sell out right away. Next up, we have ourselves the 6-inch Young He doll from Squid Game, which will be shared with the Funko shop. This is a really cool pop, especially with the recent announcement of the brand new season of Squid Game coming to Netflix. Especially with the popularity of Squid Game, this is definitely a cop up the money to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves Ted Lasso from the TV series Ted Lasso, which will be shared with the Funko shop. This pop is okay. I haven't seen Ted Lasso, but in the comments throughout social media, there is a lot of hype as terms of this pops. A lot of people are planning on getting this. I just don't see this with the abundance of pops being shared to the Funko shop that this is going to sell out right away, especially because it is just a simplistic human pop and not something like really exciting as terms to detail. So I will say for right now, pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves the glow-in-the-dark Demogorgon from Stranger Things, which will be a part of a pop-and-bag bundle involving Loungefly. Now, I'm not entirely excited for the idea of just a different specification of a pop we already gotten. However, even though the pop isn't great, what really makes up for it is the backpack, and even though it hasn't been confirmed as of me recording this video right now, I do see this being a 3,000 piece item because every pop and bag bundle that Funko has done so far has been limited to 3,000 pieces, so it's definitely a cop-up because the aftermarket value is going to be really high on this. Next up, we have ourselves Bambi with Butterfly, and this will be shared with Hot Topic. This pop is okay. I mean, it's cool to see different Disney movies incorporated into Funko Pop form instead of getting whatever's recently new as terms of the movies that just came out. However, out of the 4 pops that have been shared to Hot Topic for San Diego Comic-Con, I do feel this might be the shelf sitter of the 4 pops involved with this con, so I am going to say for right now, pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves a glow-in-the-dark first appearance Supersonic from Sonic the Hedgehog, which this is going to be shared with Walmart. This is a great looking Funko Pop. I love the idea that they basically made a new Supersonic Pop, except this time it is glow in the dark unlike the original one. I feel like this is going to be a sought after pop and why you should definitely cop up the money to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves Starfire from Justice League, which will be shared to Hot Topic. I love everything that's involved, including the fire base. You got the green eyes that really pop out well from the orange skin, along with the red hair that's along with it. I believe that out of the 4 pops that are being shared to Hot Topic, this one is going to be the first one to sell out, which is why I think this is definitely cop up the money to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves the Penguin with the Duck Ride Pop Rides, which this is going to be shared to GameStop. This is a pretty decent pop, and it's cool that we're getting more Danny DeVito pops. However, I feel because this is a Pop Rides and it's going to be a decent price as terms to retail value for this, that not a lot of people are going to pick it up right away and probably will wait until GameStop puts this pop on sale, which is why I'm going to say pass up the opportunity to get this pop right now. Next up, we have ourselves Enmu from Demon Slayer, and this is going to be shared to Hot Topic. Now, this is a really detailed pop as terms to anime overall, not just Demon Slayer. However, there was a little bit of mixed hype because people were expecting a certain character for Demon Slayer, which I'll put the photo up right here on exactly the character. I know what people are talking about, but I can't exactly pronounce the name correctly, even though I have seen the series once over. But if it was that one certain character that was the Comic-Con exclusive in this case, I think it definitely could have been a major cop-up, but because it's this character, I still think it's a cop-up because Demon Slayer is still super popular as an anime as terms to Funko. Next up, we have ourselves a Butterfly Mode Super Chocho from Boruto. This pop is okay. It's got some detail as terms to like the hair and like the butterfly wings, except I don't think really anyone was expecting or really wanted a Boruto pop, which especially being a Funko Shop shared exclusive, and a lot of exclusives are being shared to the Funko Shop, I feel like it's going to be lost in the shuffle with the amount of cool stuff that are already being shared there, which is why I'm going to say pass up the opportunity to get this pop right now. Next up, we have ourselves Gran Torino from My Hero Academia, and this is going to be shared with Box Lunch. This is a really cool Funko Pop, especially because it's a new character that we have not seen yet in pop form. And it's long overdue because this character has been around since season 1 of My Hero Academia, and I don't know why they didn't make it as an exclusive, especially in like the very first wave of My Hero Academia pops. Because of the popularity still of My Hero Academia in Funko Pop form, cop up the money to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves Goku Driving Exam from Dragon Ball Z, and this is going to be shared with GameStop. Now, this pop is pretty funny because you can definitely tell in the facial expression that something went on during his driving lesson, and now he's just laughing about it. I think it's a cool design, except I feel like people are thinking at this point that Dragon Ball Z is kind of going down as terms to the quality of the pops because they've pretty much done everything at this point. So I feel like unless you have the Driving Exam Piccolo that was an FYE exclusive to go along with this pop, then I feel like overall this is a pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves Queen Historia from Attack on Titan, which this is going to be shared with FYE. When you look at the wave that was announced at Funkoween last month, this doesn't really compare all that good as terms to detail. It's very simplistic, which is why I feel like people might wait on this pop and just get it when the rest of the set comes out later on in the year, which is why for right now I will say pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves Yuji Itadori with Slaughter Demon from Jujutsu Kaisen, which this is going to be shared with GameStop. This pop is okay, but we've already gotten a couple versions of Yuji Itadori already for the Jujutsu Kaisen lineup, so I feel like, do you really need this one unless you're getting a full set? Not really, which is why I think, especially going to GameStop, this might actually be a shelf sitter, so I'm going to say pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves the Purge Trooper from Obi-Wan Kenobi, which this is going to be shared with Walmart. This pop is okay, but I feel like it's not exactly a Comic-Con-esque worthy character, especially for the Obi-Wan Kenobi lineup. Especially going to a retailer like Walmart, it might sit on the shelves for a while. So I'm going to say pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves Cassian Andor from the upcoming series of Andor, and this is going to be shared with Target. This pop is okay, but it's very simplistic, and I feel like since Andor isn't out yet, that there's going to be better Andor pops being made when the series releases that are far more detailed. And I'm going to say the same thing like I mentioned about the Queen Historia pop, is that I feel like people are going to wait for this pop to either possibly go on sale or until the rest of the pops come out. So for right now, I will say that this is going to be a pass up the opportunity to get. Next up, we have ourselves a flocked Krishantin from the Book of Boba Fett, which this is going to be shared with GameStop. This pop is awesome. I love the design of this pop. The fact that it's flocked is even more amazing. People have been wanting Krishantin for a while, so there's a lot of hype. And I feel like out of all the pops that are going to GameStop when it's being released for SDCC, this one might actually be the one that sells out first. So I'm going to say for right now, cop up the money to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves a metallic Charmander from Pokemon, which this is going to be shared with FYE. This one is a little meh. We don't like the specification variants of Pokemon pops. However, it just so happens that these variants of Pokemon pops actually retain more value than the regular common pops. Cop up the money to get this pop because these do have a decent amount of money as terms of secondary market value. Next up, we have ourselves Spider-Man 2099 for the Marvel Spider-Man game, which this is going to be shared with Amazon. This is a pretty decent version of Spider-Man 2099, very different from the one we're used to. However, I think because it is being shared to Amazon, that this is going to end up being a sight sitter and that it's going to eventually drop in price as the months go by. So I am going to say for right now, pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Then we have ourselves two pops for the Disney Plus series Loki, which we have ourselves He Who Remains, which will be shared with Target, and a 10-inch glow-in-the-dark Ms. Minutes, which will be shared with the Funko shop. Now these pops are pretty decent. They're pretty much the last two characters I feel where they make them into pop form, and that should be it for the Loki lineup, because people really wanted a separate Ms. Minutes pops from the Pop and Buddy, but except they're not really a fan of the fact that it's a 10-inch form, and then the fact we have ourselves He Who Remains or Kang the Conqueror. But at this point, I feel like the hype has really died down a lot for the Loki lineup, considering that Loki was out a year ago. So I feel like for both of these pops at the moment, I am going to say pass up the opportunity to get these pops. Next up, we have ourselves Silk from the Spider-Man comics, and this is going to be shared with Hot Topic. I think this is a pretty decent looking pop, but I do see this being one of those pops that ends up being a shelf sitter over at Hot Topic where this is going to be shared with, which is why for right now I will say pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves America Chavez from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and this is going to be shared to Walmart. This pop is okay. We've already had two versions of America Chavez already, but this time it's got like a star behind her, which I haven't seen the movie yet, but I do plan on seeing it soon. But I feel like this is the best version of America Chavez in terms of pop form, but I do feel like, especially going to a retailer like Walmart, it might actually sit on the shelves. Pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves Scarlet Scarab from Moon Knight, which this is going to be shared with Entertainment Earth. So I mentioned about Digital Stand being the sight sitter of Entertainment Earth, and I think this will be the pop that sells out at Entertainment Earth, because there still is a decent amount of hype for Moon Knight having only ended maybe a month or two ago. I think this definitely will sell out, and I think it will be a decently priced pop in the near future. Next up, we have ourselves the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Power Rangers crossover pops, which we got ourselves Leonardo, which will be shared with Toy Tokyo, and Donatello, which will be shared with the Funko shop. Honestly, I'd have to say cop up, because this is a really unique set of pops, and I think it's something that people are definitely going to want to get, especially if they eventually make Michelangelo and Raphael in the near future. Next up, we have ourselves Laser Power He-Man from Masters of the Universe, which this is going to be shared with Toy Tokyo. Now, this is going to be a pass up the opportunity to get, because not a lot of people want another version of He-Man, except the fact that it's pretty much a cop-up at the same time, because it will be a part of a bundle, most likely, with that Toy Tokyo Leonardo. Next up, we have ourselves Serpentor from G.I. Joe, which this is going to be shared with GameStop. Now, this pop is okay. It's really cool for G.I. Joe fans to get this, but I do see this being a shelf sitter, especially because a lot of G.I. Joe pops I notice are shelf sitter pops. So I am going to say for right now, pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Next up, we have ourselves a 10-inch variant of Unicron from Transformers, which this is going to be shared with GameStop. Now, this thing has a ton of detail. However, because it is a 10-inch variant of a pop, I don't see a lot of people wanting to get this because it requires a lot of room on your shelf to display. I am going to say for right now, pass up the opportunity to get this pop. And last but not least, actually announced today as I'm recording this video, is a pop of Alicent Hightower with Dagger from the Game of Thrones series House of the Dragon, which unknown at this moment of where this is being shared to. Like I mentioned, this actually got announced today as I'm recording this video, so I don't really know what the hype is as terms to what people think of this, but I do have a feeling because it's very plain and simplistic, especially for a series where I don't even remember if the series actually began yet or not, I feel like this is a little bit boring, so pass up the opportunity to get this pop. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's video on Cop Up or Pass Up for SDCC Exclusive Pops 2022, make sure you press that like button, comment in the comment section below, and let me know what you think is worth copping up or passing up. And as said in the little intro, make sure you press the subscribe button for more content like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching today's video, and hope to see you guys next time. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here. Follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at A Funko Popcast. If you want to check out some of our other content that's featured on our channel, you can click either the playlist that's on your screen right now featuring previous episodes of our weekly podcast, A Funko Popcast, or we have suggested a video for you guys in relation to today's video.